What's going on, guys? Slim here with a new video today, and yes, I know, super late to the party, but it's ban list prediction time, and you guys know I don't like to waste time. I'm gonna get straight into it. Comment, like, subscribe, the usual stuff. You guys know what to do. Check out my new series starting over. That's really what the channel's all about right now, but we have to throw in a ban list prediction because regardless, we're gonna have a new format sooner or later. Nationals is coming up, there's more YCS coming up, so we gotta get into it. I'm gonna keep it super short and to the point. I have 2 cards banned. I have literally Mind Hacker and Branded Expulsion. Everyone has literally asked for these cards. Why? Mind Hacker, it literally changes how you have to build your extra deck. I didn't fully understand that until I had a deck list submitted with 3 copies of SlimYGO just so that it wouldn't get taken out of my deck. The fact that they can hit 1 copy, I think I had 2 or 3, I had more than 1 than I needed. And it was just the fact that I knew that they could literally take that away, they could give me Ibly, and then I wouldn't be able to play. I was just like, yeah, no, this card needs to go. I know it used to be a prize card and then it became available to the masses, but yeah, this card also makes it so that there is the 5 lock zone. That's like crazy, 5 zone lock. That's not how you should be playing Yu-Gi-Oh! You literally cannot play Yu-Gi-Oh! Under that. So for sure that card has to go. Everyone has said it, I'm saying it too. Card needs to go. I've been on the receiving end of it. I've had all 5 zones locked. It sucks. Don't want it to happen again. It's ridiculous. They go in your extra deck. They manipulate again how you have to build your extra deck. There's been multiple Zeuses, multiple copies of cards just so that your opponent wouldn't rip them both. That's crazy. Gotta go. And Branded Expulsion. You're thinking, should we hit Branded Fusion? Should we hit any of the other branded cards? Now Branded is an amazing deck. Don't get me wrong. I think it's one of the best decks in the format. It just hasn't been performing to the level that we really thought it would be. Hitting Branded Fusion to 1 could potentially be something down the line, but I don't think the deck is that devastating. Ash Blossom literally stops Branded Fusion, literally stops their turn, so I really don't think that's necessary. So I think Branded Expulsion, just for the fact that it does give that gimmick puppet lock, is crazy. You literally cannot play, you literally are destroyed the next turn and lose. Yeah, that's a card that needs to get hit. That way you are touching Branded in a way they have to go back to their original strategy, and that way you're not taking away their main engine cards like Branded Fusion, especially when Ash Blossom is everywhere. It's in like every deck list because of Branded Fusion. You literally just ash the Branded Fusion and they really are just kind of caught scrambling after that. So for sure hitting those 2 cards, it addresses Branded, it addresses Cash Tier in one of the main ways it can, just so that we don't have the extra deck ripping and the extra deck manipulation. And yeah, I think that's one of the healthiest ways to go forward with that. Now that's it for banned cards. Moving on to limited. So limited was kind of back and forth. I was just thinking to myself, okay, what else do we touch in Cash Tier without completely destroying the deck? There's only 1 card. It's not Fenrir. It's not Fenrir. I think that's a very good generic card. It's almost like Pankratops. It's one of those cards that you can include in other decks, and I think it just has a lot of synergy with other strategies, and I think it's a great card to play overall. So instead I'm hitting Unicorn. Unicorn makes the most sense. It's the card you want to open. It's the card that starts everything. Everyone could argue for Birth. They could argue for the Field Spell. They could argue for the E-Telly, but I don't think any of that is necessary. I think that if you limit Unicorn, similar to what they did in the OCG, you have the hit to Mind Hacker. It does change the decks, the way it plays. There's no more of the 5 zone lock. There's no more of the extra deck ripping, and their consistency goes way down. I think that the deck would still be playable, but that way you're not taking away Fenrir from being a card that you play in other decks. Again, it's a super good anti-meta card, and I think it's a card that should stick around for a little bit longer, but hit Unicorn, it's the main culprit in the deck. Now, I've addressed Cash Tier, I've addressed Branded for the most part. I mean, I'm not going to hit anything else in Branded. Branded Fusion to 1, just not right now. I don't think it's going to happen. It's getting that Ulti reprint, so maybe it'll happen down the line. I honestly don't think it's going to happen with the Ulti reprint on the horizon. I think they're going to keep it around for a little bit longer. So I move on to Sprite. Sprite's like an engine. It really is just not even its own deck anymore. You've seen a lot of different Sprite variations, and I thought to myself, how do you even hit this? People said you hit blue, that makes no sense. You do that, you basically cripple the deck. Hitting the what is it, the red and the jets and the stuff that searches the other cards is a possible idea as well, but I was watching some of the ban list predictions from other content creators, and I agreed with, I believe it was Joshua Schmidt, who said to actually hit starter to 1. I think I had this hit before on a previous ban list prediction, and I stick by it. I think that it's one of the best consistency cards in the deck, and what you really want to do with this deck is just lower its ceiling by lowering its consistency, and I think starter would be one of the best cards. It searches any of the sprites, so this way you lower that consistency. You have to hard draw them and then play them as they're meant to be played. Again, they're more of an engine instead of a pure deck. I don't want to kill the engine itself because I think it is a really cool engine to play in other decks. We've seen a lot of cool decks pop up because of it, like more recently the Fur Hire, what was it, the Fur Hire Sprite or Fur Hire Sprite Runic. Like, it's really crazy. So I just wanted to keep the Sprite pretty much just in check with just 1 starter, and I think that'll be the best way to handle it going forward. Now this one is just because this card sucks. Blaster, the Dragon Ruler to 1. We've been saying this, I don't know for how long. It's probably been years now. The card doesn't do anything. It's literally a pop with an extra fire monster that you have to discard, and it's a big body, and it's not a big deal. Literally, we had Tempest back for how many years now? It never did anything. We literally add Blaster into the mix. It doesn't do anything. Leverett Oxen title locked up. They're ridiculous. A Foolish Burial and a Monster Reborn. They're way too strong for Dragon Rulers. But you can release Blaster and it'll be perfectly fine. So yeah, obligatory bring Blaster back because it doesn't do anything. You guys already know. And then this one pains me because everyone knows how much I love Runic, but I can't ignore the fact that Naturia Runic has been running around. Hitting the Naturia cards is pointless. I don't think hitting Naturia Beast is the proper play. You have to address Runic, and I do have Runic Fountain going to 1, and it hurts me to say I feel that it is the best way to solve the problem. The engine is as strong as its best card. Fountain is literally the best card. It's the advantage producer. If you limit it to 1, if you lose it, it's very hard to get back, especially if it's Cyclone. Yes, you can revive it off. You can get it back from the grave off of Jiri. Like, you can special Jiri, add it back, and then play from there. So you can get it back over time. Terraforming is still at 1. All the other Runic cards, all the Hugins get you to Runic Fountain. It just, you wouldn't have a super long grind game if you lose the 1 copy of Fountain. So therefore, hitting Fountain, it hurts to say, but it's something that could potentially happen. And that's my main hit to Runic. And then with semi-limited, I really didn't know what to do here. I hit Runic a little more. I hit Runic tip to 2. Do I think it'll happen? No. I think if you hit Fountain, I think it's fine, but I'm still going to throw it out there. You never know how Konami decides on the ban list if they're going to do extra damage to Runic. Runic tip is the best card. It searches any of the cards in the deck, literally banishes 1 off the top of the opponent's deck as well. Putting it to 2 just for consistency. I know I'm not a huge fan of semi-limited cards, but I feel like some cards actually get tested to be put at 2 and then eventually go to 1. Vice versa, how they come back from 2 to 3. I feel like we got to start somewhere, so I threw that. And then this one was really interesting. So this again, I was listening to Joshua Schmidt when he was saying about Pot of Prosperity. You guys are thinking, why would I ever hit Pot of Prosperity? What he said kind of changed the way I looked at the card. It makes every card in your deck more consistent by playing Pot of Prosperity. You literally get to dig 6 for any card in your deck, especially a card you play 3 of. And it's a very interesting concept, the fact that it just makes every card in your deck more consistent. You're more likely to see it by playing Prosperity. A lot of decks can play Prosperity. A lot of decks have gained a lot of advantage off of it. Is it a card that I think they will hit? Maybe down the line. Hitting it to 1 seems crazy. I think that they would maybe experiment putting it to 2 and then just see where they go from there. I know in Master Duel, I think it's at 1, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, this is a consistency card that potentially could get hit down the line. And I'm just going to put it at 2. This is kind of like these 2 hits, I'm going to be honest, in the semi-limited, take them with a grain of salt. If they don't happen, they don't happen. They were just something I thought potentially could happen down the line. But these were my semi-limited hits. And then just to wrap this list up so we can get out of here, bring these 3 cards back to 3. They don't do anything. 3 Gazelle, shout out to Solomon Great. 3 Gazelle is fine. It's not broken. Solomon Great's still a deck. It pops up every here and there, so it's fine. Ancient Fairy Dragon, it got the errata. I don't think you're gonna play more than 1, unless you're scared of getting Mind Hackered, which hopefully gets hit anyway. So yeah, doesn't do anything. And then Spellbook of Judgment. Now I know you guys are thinking, that card's crazy, but what are Spellbooks gonna do? I hate to say it, what are Spellbooks gonna do? This format. It's not 2013, it's not Dragon Ruler format. Who really knows what they're gonna do? But that's it. Short and sweet, to the point. Those are my predictions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe if you're new here. Be sure to check out my series, Starting Over. We'll be having a new episode coming out probably sometime next week. We're going to start doing some deck building with the budget decks that we have acquired. And just for anyone that's been getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's a really great series, and I hope you guys will show it some love and support. But that's it, you guys. No idea what else. I have no wish list. I guess Free Colossus, but I honestly don't care anymore. Like, I've been saying it for so long. Crush Card's been saying it for so long. I don't even have a wish list anymore because it usually doesn't happen. So no wish list this time. Hopefully they just address the format. I don't think the format is horrible, but I think people are frustrated with it. So some change will be good, and hopefully it'll be something positive that happens in the long run. But that's all I got, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Short and sweet, to the point. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.